Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. Today is the aftermath of the Cleveland Browns game, but not so fast there, Bucky. I said that I'd be done talking about everything in terms of the refs and all that. I'm not going to get on the referees, but I am going to get on the league because the league is pathetic. What I did after the show, the post-game show, was to sit and watch the Denver Broncos and the travesty that they charged fans for. Okay? The league is full of shit. And if the players are not accountable or responsible or not wearing masks in meetings like they're supposed to, the teams need to deal with that. And loco parentis with the goddamn NFL interceding into all this shit, and moo to Mark Ross. Hi there, buddy. To me, it's ridiculous. Why play a game when a team literally has no chance at all? Why did they subject Denver to that? And now a third postponement of the Steelers and the Ravens.
Before you get too deep into that, I really think that the fucking Ravens at this point should be forced to forfeit the goddamn game.
Well, I mean, look, 22 positive cases, and you're talking about three quarterbacks who didn't wear a mask in a goddamn meeting, and look at the goddamn Ravens. How in the hell did they get to 22? But it doesn't matter.
The coaches had it.
Is Lamar Jackson to the Ravens, it is not a level playing field. The Browns will never win. Do you got me? Because it's controlled. I'm not going to use Donald Trump's word because, the more I thought about it after the show, because as a Browns fan, you really get sick of it. You really do. From Bottlegate to all the other things that have happened, to the helmet, helmet toss, to the, there's too many. There's too many, and you just get pissed off. But this is not just happening to the Browns. This is all about gambling. It's all about money. Just like the vaccine, it's all about money. Does the vaccine work? They say it does. When will it be available? As soon as we can get it on the market. When did you start talking about it? Long before we could put it on market. And why did you do that? Stock value. We're pigs. We're little pigs. That's why. Nobody gives a shit about the people suffering with the disease. It's all posturing. So that it's like, hey, you know something? Ours is 90% effective. We're 94.5. Wait, we've got a few more weeks and we're 95. Now you have another company that's coming out with it. And they've never made a vaccine in their life before, but it's like, we need a boost. Our stock needs a boost. Don't forget about us, the other guys who are the other white meat. Everything in our society is about money. And if you want to point that, the stock market's up, that doesn't mean dick fuck shit, man, to the average person on the street, because they can't afford to invest in the stock market and jobs are not being created. It's all horse shit. It's all me. And the NFL, these football players who are not following protocols, me. I don't have to wear a mask. Fuck you. The team should be responsible for disciplining their athletes. But the league disciplining the outcome of a game, they know how much gambling money is going to rumble on that Ravens-Steelers game. And they don't want that one to be such a certainty now, do they? No. Nobody will wager on that game. Are you kidding me? Oh, we can't find any Ravens money. Where is it? and they will postpone it 6 more times if they have to. They just will. Hi, Hammer Time.
Hi.
That's what it is. And it's pathetic. To watch that Denver game yesterday and watch Hinton, there's Bronk, Chuck Hinton. If you're an Indians fan from the 60s, yeah. Hinton at quarterback. Did you see him throw a pass?
No, I didn't see it. I left.
His pass looked worse.
He completed one. Come on.
It was a screen pass. It was a screen pass. And look.
It was a throwback screen pass. It was a hell of a pass. He completed to the other team.
His downfield pass was worse than the female kicker's kickoff. You want to know how bad that was?
I was being sexist there.
Fuck that, man. If you're going to be the first to do something, do it good, man.
Yeah,
Becky Robinson.
I wouldn't want somebody to go on national television and say, I'm going to be the first person to suck a dick on national television and be bad at it.
I can't imagine you would be bad at it.
Why can't the first person is like, would people get Geraldine Ferrara on Jeopardy? I don't think so. It's like, she's the first one. No, she was Mondale.
Well, now Alex and her would just be jars in the heads in a jar.
Yeah, the thing, but if you didn't see the kickoff, the Vanderbilt kickoff,
no, I didn't.
It was so bad.
How bad was it?
It was bad that the coaching staff after the game stated, she did exactly as we instructed on that kick, Which was what? To kick a line drive right to the guy's hands at the 35-yard line?
Hey, she was SEC Special Teams Player of the Week, by the way.
Co-SEC.
Did you see the hilarious part about that thing? The coach got fired the next day.
Well, he should. If he called back.
And he was black. So much for that affirmative action.
The whole thing is ridiculous. And I feel, it's like somewhere, what we hope for. Let me explain what we hope for and then what we get. What we hope for is that somebody gets a chance, and when they get that moment in the spotlight, that she booms it to the goal line. And it's like there are a bunch of girls who read about it and they're watching and they say, I think I can do better than that. And it catches fire so that more women will try. But what does this do? This is like the T-ball league that your little spazoid child, because he can't hit a pitch ball, is playing it. Got to keep the ball stationary so Timmy can hit it.
No, I can't say spazoid either now.
Trophy by participation. It's like, no, she wasn't nervous, Greg. She wasn't nervous. The coach said, no, I called that lousy kickoff. That was a plan.
Maybe it was an onside kick.
That was not an onside kick if you didn't see it. If you saw the damn thing, it came off her foot. She had no leg acceleration at all. And the thing, all that was missing was Lucy to pull the ball up. What the fuck? Yeah, so I don't get it. I really, but at any rate, I digress.
You digress.
Yeah. So now we're looking at a situation where the game's Wednesday, 4-minute abs. And so it goes. Can we drum up a little more interest here? Can we make sure that Lamar Jackson is going to be back for that Cleveland Browns game? Could we make sure of that, please? And something? Fuck the Ravens. Fuck Lamar Jackson. Fuck their fans. Fuck them all. And not because I have a great hatred for the Ravens, but you're coddled.
Well, Brian hates everything, so.
Coddled. Something? Anything you win now is illegitimate. If you win a playoff game finally with your quarterback, illegitimate. Doesn't count. And the reason is because the league intercedes for you and cheats for you. The Cleveland Browns, you know how many practices we had in preparation for our Jacksonville game?
2.
1.
1. Oh, sorry. 1.
I don't want to hear this shit. And then the fans, I'm not going to call them fans. What I'm going to call them are shipwrecks of humanity who are on social media. Oh, Baker sucks,
You know
and
what?
find a new place to get your donuts if your baker sucks.
Where's the black cow of death while all this is going on? Oh,
COVID. What do you mean, where is he? He has no control over this.
On a vent.
And I don't want Lamar to get hurt, Mark, well, maybe a little enough just to knock him out for the rest of the season. That'll be good. Comes back stronger than ever next year, but I don't want him to have a chance to even win a playoff game. Fuck him. Fuck that team. It's wrong. What they're doing is just, the people who are the custodians of the sport to make sure that this is a believable, legitimate operation. I mean, we sit there and we make fun of Vince McMahon, the oft-failed XFL guy, because what he put on wasn't serious. The athletes weren't serious. Well, now this isn't serious either. The NFL has shown its hand, and the favoritism and all the things that we've been seeing with the officiating have a reason for being, and it's all because the league is the slave of money. And you know something? The NFL won't let the game be forfeited because they want the money. They want the money for it. Because then the networks are going to come back on them and say, we're going to prorate your income predicated on the fact that these games were missing. And the NFL's going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it all is. And I can't say it any more clearly than that. I mean, so now, the only thing that's good about this is that Ben Roethlisberger's waiting and getting older. All right. That's the only thing that's good.
Every day of his life.
Yep. You know what I'd love to do is shove a Primanti sandwich up his ass. Fuck those two teams, coddle teams. And here we are. You know that Kevin Stefanski is the coach of the year. I don't want to hear Mike Tomlin. Son of a bitch. Kevin Stefanski right now, if the season stopped, would have to be the coach of the year, just simply because what the Browns are doing. I'm not saying that they're whooping on people up and down the street. No, but they're winning. And that's something this team hasn't done over the previous yes, bro.
13 years?
Yeah, we all thought that we would be 3-8 now, not 8-3. So there you go. We're 5 games over.
No, my preseason prediction was for a 9-7 season. So
well, there you go.
Well, hey, you got a good chance.
This is.
It could still happen. It could still happen.
I figured that they would be like 5-4 right now.
No, hey.
Yeah,
they're winning the games. They're winning the games. And our quarterback is managing the game, right? That's what he isn't throwing interceptions. He's not making the good passes. Supposedly, he's thrown the least number of interceptions. Here, I have a nice list of people who've thrown more interceptions than Baker this year, starting with the anointed one, the GOAT, Tom Brady, Russ Wilson, Matt Ryan, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, Phillip Rivers, Cam Newton, and Carson Wentz, of course. That's not all right. That's some pretty good names in there, although Wentz isn't what he was anymore. Neither is Newton. But he's managing the game. He's not fucking it up for us. And that's really what we have to have, really. Just don't fuck it up. All right?
Keyblade, I had Flores as coach of the year until what he did to Tua. All right? Then he's no longer the coach of the year. When you say, yeah, you're sitting down, we're gonna put Ryan Patrick Fitzryan in.
Fucking Yosemite Sam, man.
Yeah.
Quarterback.
No, so he lost right there in my mind. Yeah, I mean that's having no faith in your player, and fuck Brian Flores, and fuck the Miami Dolphins too, because insignificant team who is not going to wind up in the playoffs. They're not good enough. But again, what it comes down to is we hear about the integrity of the game from Major League Baseball all the time, and that's why they screwed Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame, which is ridiculous because Pete Rose is absolutely an idiot, and he is absolutely gambling addicted, and he had absolute problems. But the integrity of the game, this from the sport that didn't let African Americans even play in the game until what year was it, for God's sakes? What was Jackie Robinson?
47?
47, is that right? I mean, that actually sat there and allowed there to be Negro leagues. I mean, when that was time, the good old days when we had white bathrooms and black bathrooms. That is the integrity of the game. The Ty Cobb was a blatant racist. That's the league we're talking about. Yeah, the league of unextraordinary gentlemen. Yeah. And that's all we got is the integrity of the game, and this bold stance initially by the NFL. You can't kneel during the national anthem, like we're holier than thou. And then how they change their mind when public sentiment is swayed and they become prostitutes, like the woman on Fox Business Network who interviewed Trump. What a 53-year-old prostitute looks like. Pull her picture up. It's like, my God. People have no respect anymore. They don't even say what they
all
believe.
the people that are sucking the dick of that useless, wrinkled pile of shit, fucking Joe Biden. Give me a break, man.
Well, I don't know if anyone was sucking his dick. It wouldn't do much good now, would it? I mean,
it worked for Camel Toe.
Well, yeah, I'll tell you. My belief is this: that people will do whatever it is when they're bribed, when they're offered incentive monetarily, and that goes for the Supreme Court justices too. And it's the whole system runs the same way. And like I said, the custodians of the sport, the NFL, should make this a level playing field. The teams themselves will fuck themselves. The Daniel Snyders of the world, or the Woody Johnsons of the world, and God only knows the Cleveland Browns past iterations, and yes, the current Jimmy Haslam, they will find a way to fuck themselves. Bad teams are bad teams for a reason. But this is, when we're dealing with a national crisis, that teams are being blatantly favored above other teams, you can't spin your way out of it. Maria is not what Moo just called her, a whore. She would be a whore, 53-year-old whore. And you know why? Because she was a respected journalist who did a good job, a fine job, being the primary Fox Business News reporter from the trading floor on Wall Street. And she was a voice of authority. Make no mistake about this. This is not some little pretty young thing who is looking to get ahead. This is a 53-year-old person who either has a fucking brain tumor or just sold out. What does it matter what her convictions and beliefs are? Her job is to report the goddamn stock market news and keep to herself who's doing all the inside trading. But anybody in that business is a whore. All right, so I guess it doesn't really surprise me that she would be one too, but she is a blatant whore. I don't know what she got
Camel
for
Toe
it.
Harris sucked dick to get into all of her fucking political bullshit. So fuck off.
No, what are you telling me? I mean, you think that I just told you Geraldine Ferrara. And I told you the story of the female kicker at Vanderbilt. And what about Kamala Harris? Do you think she's qualified to be the president of the United States? Oh, I don't think so. But, she might damn well be the first female president of the United States. All I ask in life is that we give people who really have earned the right to be something so that there is an advantage for young people coming up and hope that they can ascend. The more we have Clarence Thomases,
it's never going to be a meritocracy, bro. The identity politics and the cultural Marxism will not permit that.
Well,
It's all about the fucking who's the most victimized person of the day.
No, but again, there are so many black attorneys of prestige. How is it we get Clarence Thomas, and how do we get Ben fucking Carson? How do we get these? And I hate to call them.
Oh yeah, the head of neurosurgery at Johns fucking Hopkins
doing in the cabinet. I'm not questioning his ability to do brain surgery, dude.
He came out of the ghettos of fucking Detroit.
And he's a good surgeon, I'm sure.
You don't think that he doesn't know about fucking living in the goddamn project?
Started shaking. I'm sure he was a really good brain surgeon, but he's appointed to a position in the cabinet that he doesn't belong in. He knows nothing about. And when he speaks, he's ignorant about that. You telling me that there's not another African-American Republican who would do a better job? But not one who was willing to lick the president's nutsack. And that's what we're living in. That's what we're living in right now. And in the NFL, I guess it's all about star power. And you say it's not going to be a meritocracy. Well, it's not now. All right? Not now. This is not a capitalistic system. This is a fascistic system that we're living in. And everything is money, money, money with cooperation of business and government. Business is the government. They're the ones writing the legislation, not the people. This is not capitalism. This is fascism running wild. And it got this way because of Democrats and Republicans. Don't point your finger and say we're holier than thou, because both sides are loopy as all get out. All get out. So, and to watch the Denver game, I mean, Kareem Jackson, the safety for the Broncos, said the NFL was obviously making an example of us. That too, the humiliation of the whole thing. You ever wondered what a college team, a small college team, would look like against a professional team? Well, there you had it, right there on national television. You don't have to imagine it anymore. You want to know what it would look like if back in the day, if Billie Jean King had played Bjorn Borg? You want to know what it Now you know what it would look like, okay?
Does it kind of quantify how we always talk about how the Browns had, bad quarterback. It's the quarterback's issue. It's the quarterback's issue. The quarterback has value, clearly. It makes a difference. The Broncos they don't have a winning record, have actually beaten teams this year. But when you throw this guy out there who didn't even start for his college team, obviously they're doing something to penalize this team. It's very clear, especially when they went through that other one.
Yeah. It's like the parent who punishes one child and not another. It's just crazy. Yeah, I thought it could have been worse than 31-3 also. The poor guy trying to throw, he looked like a shot putter trying to throw.
Well, he even stated that he didn't realize how fast the game was as a quarterback. He did, it just wasn't something that, and people don't understand that. As you go from high school to college to pro, that game gets so much faster. And there's just no way that some guy that didn't even start for wherever, wasn't he a Vanderbilt guy too? I think he was a backup quarterback at Vanderbilt. It's not like he was
No, the other one, the Demon
Wake Forest. Okay,
Wake Forest, wow.
All right, so a little bit better than Vanderbilt, but still, while they are SEC, they're SEC light. Okay, so whatever. I mean, it's not. It just goes to show you that they didn't even give this team a fighting chance. It'd be one thing if they had people get hurt during the game and had to bring somebody out there, but this is just crazy.
Well, and then the other thing, I mean, I don't like to contribute to other fans' misery, but I've never, the people in Jacksonville, of course, they're not still around, the original fans of the Jaguars back when they were really a football team. about what happened with the Browns and Bottlegate. They never feel badly for us. But, so Dave Caldwell, the GM, gets fired. It's like not just 10th straight loss, but to Cleveland, for God's sake. If anybody could have gotten him off the hook, it would have been the Browns, and it didn't happen. And it was the league and Jacksonville against the Browns, and the Browns still prevailed. And
that happened
fucking
that year.
embarrassing.
Well, that happened that year when Mike Pettin was coaching. We were 6-3. Every time we won a game in October, the head coach got fired the next week because it was that team's bye week. It happened like 3 weeks in a row. Go back to whenever that was, 2014, 2013.
Yeah, and that's a surefire way to lose your job. I mean, and the thing that's ridiculous about it all is that, how about somebody firing Marone right now? I mean, no, we're not going to kick either of these fuckers.
Well, they're not going to fire Marone, one, because they have to pay him. And the season is lost anyway. They're 1 in whatever. They're going to get, they're going to get a quarterback. They're going to get one of the probably Fields, I would imagine.
And he's going to get injured.
And he's going to get killed on a regular basis. But, I mean, here's the thing, though. They were one of the league leaders in giving up sacks, and we got how many?
Ooh.
Goose egg.
Well, get this. The Jags under Dave Caldwell were 39 and 86. And Hugh Jackson said, wow, that's a high bar. They've lost 10 or more games in every season under Caldwell except 2017. And now they're 1-10. But here's the deal. Head coach Doug Marone and his staff will continue to serve the team through the rest of the season, which is bad for morale because Doug Marone is one of the worst morale coaches in the league. So he'll finish the job that Caldwell started. And
would be an upgrade for that team.
A white guy named Caldwell can keep his job that long, but a black guy named forget it. I'm not even
that gets your team to the playoffs 4 years out of 6 or whatever it was, and wins 9 games on a regular basis.
Can't find
the Earl Bruce of.
That's our league. That's the extraordinary league of gentlemen.
Yeah.
So but
they're paying for it in Detroit now anyway. I mean, good Lord, that's been a train wreck since they should never fire Caldwell, and look what's happened to him. It's karma biting you in the ass.
Well, it's the same thing over and over for these people. It's like, do you know that from 2013, 2016, none of his first round picks are even still with the team?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like gone with the tumbling tumbleweeds. I mean, that's what happens to these folks. Former Vice President of Football Operations, Mr. Morale 2, Tom Coughlin, was fired last December, had the final say on all football matters, and was responsible for the team's drafts from 2017 to 2019. All right. Offensive tackle Luke Jekyll, no longer in the league. Blake Bortles lasted 5 seasons, put together a solid 2017 team, but instead of allowing him to play on the 5th-year option, they signed him to a contract extension. And then he sucked so bad once he got the money that he was benched. The team decided to move on, even though it cost them $16.5 million in dead money in 2019. Meanwhile, the other Caldwell is saying, what the fuck? By the way, he was cut a day after the team signed Nick Foles. Yes, destined for greatness in Jacksonville. Dante Fowler, defensive end, was traded to the Rams last season. Jalen Ramsey, 2016, arguably one of the best defensive players in their franchise history, grew unhappy with management, asked for a trade, sat out 2 games with a back injury before he was sent to the Rams, and now because he's happy. Yeah. And, of course, Leonard Fournette, we know he was cut this past September. Caldwell also drafted the Brandon Linder in 2014, and then Yannick Ngakoue in 2016, and then Miles Jack. Miles Jack is still with the team. He's still with the team.
Oh, Miles Jack.
Yep. But they signed.
That's not the same as Mild Jack. Right?
Miles Jack.
Yeah.
He's not
Hey,
a lump
Bri-
of cheese.
Bronk, wasn't that your substitute porn name? Never mind.
Miles.
Yeah.
That's how Bronk got his name anyway, but that's all right.
It's nice to know.
I don't know the story.
But what happens to teams like the Jags and the Browns is that if they do happen, the pig in a poke, and they happen to find somebody who's actually good in the draft, they're not going to sign a second contract with that team, except if they're Joe Thomas and they're just true blue loyal soldiers. They're not going to do that because in the league today, nobody wants to sit in that situation. It's terrible there. The Jags were unable to sign receiver Allen Robinson to a second contract, didn't use the franchise tag on him. He left in free agency. It goes on and on and on. But the bottom line is we can feel for you as fans, Jacksonville, but we really don't give a fuck because you don't give a fuck about us. And then there's this other thing, this COVID thing about California, and the 49ers have no home. And so now they're going to play in Brian's backyard.
Wow.
They're coming down to Bethesda.
Yep, Arizona for the next 2 games.
I mean,
Well, I know they can't practice in that county.
that's right. And it's not only affecting them. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's disappointed over Santa Clara County's sports ban, but it affects more than just him. There are college teams there that are affected as well, who have nowhere to play. Santa Clara has gotten hit. That county's been hit really hard with COVID. And they're just shutting down, man. They're not allowed to work there, practice, not allowed to do nothing.
I mean, that happened to the state high school tournament here in Columbus this past 2 weeks ago when we went purple in Franklin County, and they basically moved the state games that were supposed to be played in Columbus up to Massillon. So
that could expand too to the whole state, because I was reading earlier Newsom is considering another state home order for the state of California, which I don't know if they'll put an exemption on sports or not, but
and who knows what happens in Ohio as well for the Browns and Bengals.
Yeah.
Well, the Browns, because things are not looking good here either as far as the numbers for COVID.
wouldn't that just be the shits? The 1 year the Browns are actually really good. The
Hey,
fucking
we've mentioned this before, Tony.
season's gonna
I have no doubt that the Browns are going to be respectable down the road here. I mean, because we do at least have a system that makes some sense and some, and we've got some people in important positions like the offensive line and our running backs taken care of. We have a stewardship guy at quarterback who's just fine for where we're at right now. Maybe one day it won't be enough, but for now, when you haven't been winning, it's just fine. Did want to point out that I took a look at the Rashard Higgins play again, and what you have on that play, I can guarantee you, is that Baker was late. The fact is that Higgins was looking for the ball when he hit the post and he started up, slanting toward the end zone. That's when the ball was supposed to have been in the air when he was wide open. Baker was late with his eyes. And by the time Baker threw the ball to him, he tried to compensate, thinking that somebody might be closing in. It's like, I can't believe my eyes. Somebody is that open. That's, again, the problem of not believing in your eyes and what you see. And if you look at Higgins on the play, he basically almost tripped over his own feet and didn't get up off the ground because the timing then was totally disrupted. That is all on Baker Mayfield. And I don't want to hear because people are trying to twist this around. That throw was a bad throw, and he was late. Seeing somebody wide open.
Did you rewatch the Hunt one where he just completely missed Kareem Hunt on that third and?
Oh, you mean that was the wheel pattern that was the double move, right?
Yeah, it was the third, the one where they fucked around with the ball and the spot of the ball and all that nonsense.
Oh, the one
that's the rollout.
Yeah.
sideline should be. Yeah, I mean that's a bad throw.
Yeah, he threw on the wrong side. He was pretty obvious.
Unless the guy makes a fantastic contorting catch, I mean, it's not, that falls on the
he made that like you said though, he made that amazing throw between two players to Landry right up the middle of the field, which was just incredible. That's a good point about Greedy coming back. Ward is out again this week.
Is there any chance you mean to LSU to get a degree? It ain't happening on the football field in Cleveland. You ain't hearing nothing about Greedy Williams.
No.
You're not going to hear anything about him either. And he's done. He's done. And I don't know what it's going to mean.
Yeah. He may never play again.
What can be done for nerve damage? And the answer is, I know this all too well, and Bronk can tell you about nerve damage too, that there is very little that anybody can do. It is kind of a mystery. And surgery, it's like, well, we'll just do surgery. How? What is compressing that nerve and why? And there has to be an understanding of that. But no, there's no chance he's coming back to help us out.
If he had the surgery out, he won't be playing until 2022, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a pleasant thing, and it wasn't like Greedy Williams was a hard hitter to begin with. I mean, any athletes we can have back there would be a blessing, but not happening.
Sounds like the Browns claimed safety Tedrick Thompson from the Seahawks, which is concerning for Ronnie Harrison's availability.
I've been watching, Jovan, I've been watching you, and there was that. Do you remember the aftershave Jovan for men? I'm beginning to get this. You have a man crush.
I remember Jovan Belcher, the dude that offed himself and his girlfriend. But
no, I mean, seriously. I mean, you have a man crush. Don't feel threatened, man. Don't feel threatened. And if you need to come out gently. But seriously. Nobody's sitting here saying that Bakley doesn't deserve to be the starting quarterback, and that there are lots of quarterbacks who miss open receivers. It does happen. I just told you why it happened. I think that guy was so wide open, and Baker was laid on with his eyes that he compensated and threw the ball and wound up and threw a haymaker, and it didn't land. It happens, and we'll get over it. I'm sure. I know I will.
Steven's going to be pissed. They just suspended Will Fuller for 6 games.
Oh, really?
Doing the roids.
Taking a banned substance.
Wow.
Performance enhancing stuff.
Which band was it? Was it the stuff Aerosmith was using?
It was.
Speaking of bands.
Yeah.
Speaking of bands, did you see the new Cavaliers jersey?
Oh
my God. First off, it looks like it's somebody went ahead and put a note together, like for a ransom note or something like that. But there really is a reason behind it. There's like what the letters, the fonts come from different bands, and that's the reason why. But you wouldn't know it if you didn't see it.
Was it like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing? Maybe
I
think it is. It's a Rock and Roll.
Yeah, there's a Twitter. Some guy named Colin Talbot said that obviously the C is for the Cavs, the LE is for the Sex Pistols, the V is from David Bowie, the E is from Metallica, the L is from Led Zepp, the A is from Nirvana, the N is from
NWA. What the fuck is it?
And the D is from Pink Floyd. So if I can bring it up, I actually have it on screen. If you,
I am. Bring it up.
Don't bring it up like Bronk is going to bring up his Chinese food. Don't bring it. Yeah, but if you want to put it up, share it. I want to see this.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds horrific.
I want to see what it looks like when Dan Gilbert vomits. That's really what I want to see.
Let's see if I can share this tab.
I mean, the Cavalier uniforms at the best of times are migraine-inducing. Yes,
Here
it
it
is.
Well, we've had some bad uniforms. Bad.
There you go.
Oh, no.
And so if you look at it, it looks kind of like somebody wrote like a really bad, ransom note. Yeah, it's like
Meet every child.
You have got to
It's
be
really
kidding.
bad. So that's it. And this is what it looks. I mean, here on the black jersey,
No,
it's fine. The
no,
letters are just
Kenny
fucked up.
Bartholow.
And long live rock. There you go. That is. So that is your Cavs, the city jersey, as they call it. That is it. So and this guy did the work to figure out where it all comes from.
Some designer got paid $50,000 for that shit too. That's
Somebody sat there, got high, ate a pizza, and then came up with this shit. Is what it was.
That's just horrible.
It was the same guy that came up with the idea of the pizza and the
A
brownies.
tagger could
and
do a
thing.
better job.
Yeah, it's like the guy's like, you know what would be really good right now if we had a brownie to go with this pizza. It's like, and so that's what they did. I'm sure this is exactly how it came through. So
Wow,
there you go.
that's terrific.
All right, go ahead and take that off the screen.
I will do that. Let me stop sharing.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean,
back to the Hollywood Squares look.
Ooh.
not for long.
It ain't
Because
called
it
Bronc
really has to
Radio,
be
that's
good.
for damn sure.
that had to be the worst looking.
That's ugly.
Yeah. Well, the team's going to be uglier. Believe me. The whole thing's gotten a hell in a hand.
Yeah, how come the Sex Pistols get 2 letters? That sounds like totally wrong, you know?
Maybe he missed it.
Not to
maybe
me.
one of the letters comes to somewhere else. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
that other
exactly.
E is from maybe the E is something else, but that's what this person
The Everly Brothers.
Yeah, there's no Clash in there. You gotta have like Sex Pistols in the Clash or Specials. Or,
Shouldn't there-
The only band that matters, Bronk.
there should be some kind of a Cleveland band in there, wouldn't you think, of all that stuff?
Raspberries. Give it to the Raspberries.
Eric Carmen. All by myself.
Oh, the
That's
Browns. Number five in the playoffs, man, and there are no tiebreakers involved. The Tennessee Titans wins the tiebreak over the Buffalo Bills based on head-to-head win percentage. The
So we
Bills
play the Bills.
were in fifth. The Dolphins win the tiebreak over the Colts based on best win percentage in conference games. Still very early for all this, I know. But, man, this game coming up with the Tennessee Titans.
Big.
Woo. This could really, and the league is not going to let that happen either. Let's be clear about that. The odds of winning this game would not be very good. But that makes me just going to cheer all the more for the Cleveland Browns. You know, it's going to make me cheer louder and be more obnoxious. That's what it does for me. It's, we're going to be in trouble. Derrick Henry is going to run all over us if we tackle like we did against the goddamn Jaguars. I don't want to see that.
Actually win this game. I can imagine Baker Mayfield getting some Browns flag and sticking it right in the 50-yard line in fucking Tennessee's field.
This year,
happening.
Damn near anything is possible. And I don't think that the Browns are as good a team as the Titans, but anything could happen. If their quarterback, Tannehill, gets hurt, anything.
COVID, so they're breathing on him.
I mean, and there have been games where the Titans have given up on.
Go down to Tennessee and go talk to.
Yeah.
They have given up points this year. I'm not saying that and they are a physical team and they're known for giving people ass kickings, and their head coach is very much into that mentality.
That backup quarterback, Logan Woodside. Yeah. Toledo kid. Yeah. There you go. That's their backup quarterback. You realize the Browns are in the top 10 in rushing defense? Maybe it's because people can easily pass on us because our secondary is so bad. But it is kind of an amazing. They brought that up yesterday. And we're averaging 108 yards. Now, I have a feeling that's going to go up against Derrick Henry and company.
Maybe.
But,
the Browns' best hope is that Derrick Henry ends up on the fucking COVID because of proximity on Friday.
I mean, look at this. I mean, you look at the offensive player grades and the defensive player grades.
How bad are they?
Well, I mean, you take a look at the secondary. Terrence Mitchell with a 62, MJ Stewart with a 58, Tavier Thomas with a 50.2, Kevin Johnson with a 48.7, and Robert Jackson with a 41.1. I mean, these are such subpar numbers. I mean, and that's against a guy who hadn't played in 3 years, man.
You know what those grades sound like? It sounds like when Dean Wormer walks into the Delta House and gives everybody their midterm grades. Like, you are the head of the pledge class, Terrence Mitchell.
For Uber. Yeah. Congratulations.
And Greedy Williams, 0.0.
Please.
Yeah.
All classes incomplete. That worked out well.
Want to be, absent and injured is no way to go through life, son. Yeah. So, we got to stop the run, but then there's the pass, and our defense doesn't stop a whole hell of a lot, and that's going to be a major problem. Just looking ahead at this, I mean, Tannehill's completing 65% of his passes. But, the real news was 1,257 yards for Derrick Henry. The guy is averaging 4.9 a carry and averaging 114.3 yards per game. I can't imagine he's not going to get more than that against this Browns team. I don't see, we're gonna be getting Myles Garrett back. But
Garrett is coming back, which does help a little. That's for
Are they
sure.
going to have like an oxygen tank on the sideline for him so that they can come out every other play and grab a hit of oxygen or something?
But, Kaderil Hodge is saying, look, it's not like the Titans, are a super team. They can get beat like anyone else. And he is being truthful about that.
That's an accurate comment.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be used as locker room fodder, by the Titans, who kicked our ass so soundly last year in our building that it might be better to just go in quietly with your head down and work your ass off rather than be talking before the game. Nothing he said was a negative about the Titans. He was just pointing out that if we do what we are capable of doing, we can win the game. And I want my players to feel that way, but maybe just quietly, believe that within yourself and then come out with wrath in the beginning of the game, come out and, play hard. So I don't know. Were the Browns resilient? I'd say that they were resilient to the sense that the most important thing they did is they converted a 3rd and 12 when they had to end the game.
That should never have even been a 3rd and 12. I mean,
yeah, I understand that, but the fact
but we're not talking about the referees today, are we? We're not talking about
when confronted with all that, they still made the play.
I hope they enjoy their holiday in Cancun. These referees work hard. They should have a nice holiday. Carry the Jacksonville owner. Or maybe they'll send them to London. Who knows?
And people are blaming Baker so hard. Nobody's talking about Jarvis Landry and what a great game he had. And some of those catches are just unbelievable. There was one that looked like it could have been a pick coming up, and instead he grabbed it right away from the defender and just grabbed it into his body. He has strong hands and good hands.
Pretty good with broken ribs or whatever it is he's got this year. Broken hip, broken ribs, broken neck. I don't know.
Sure enough,
I think he broke his freaking neck.
Yeah.
Right here on Cleveland.
Half the family pregnant, the other half dead.
Yeah, exactly.
The biggest loser is Baker Mayfield, and it's like, a rating of 116.7. And, I just am not going to go over it over and over again. The fact,
we're 8-3.
And here's what Mayfield finally said about that play, by the way, with Rashard Higgins. he didn't look to Higgins early enough on the play, and that's exactly what I saw. And it led to a double pump, an off-balance throw that sailed over Higgins. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to sit here and go over it and over it and over it. It's, and they have Andrew Sendejo as a winner in this game.
Considering how much he sucked all year, I mean, to be an improvement is not a big jump. Okay, when you're down here in the suck, at the very bottom of the suck, just to get up just a little bit is a big winner.
It's baby steps, isn't it? Just a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher, a little bit higher. He's played every fucking snap.
And get this. In the second quarter, when he broke up a deep pass into the end zone, it was his first pass breakup of the season.
Yes.
The first
go.
After all these snaps, you know what I'm going to start calling him?
What?
I'm going to start calling him Neil Sedaka. You know why?
Because breaking up is hard to do.
Exactly.
Thank you. I'm here all week.
Don't forget the waitress.
Just unbelievable.
Try the meal.
And then the second great play by Sendejo when he denied Mike Glennon's 2-point conversion. That was no pass. Glennon started running out of the pocket and remembered he was a fucking stork. And
if he could run at all, he would have walked into the end zone.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Joseph had him dead to rights.
He's a statue. If that was Russ Wilson, if that was Jackson, if that was Roethlisberger, if that was Burrow, even with a broken leg, they all would have made it in the end zone, even with Jackson coming down on them. It was like he would have cut earlier and made it. But he was a fucking statue out there.
And I can tell you why that play failed. If you look at the snap and look at how it all went down, he takes the snap and he felt pressure coming from his right. And so the first thing he did, instead of really looking for his primary read, was he started storking his way out of the pocket to move left, which of course is forcing him to throw across his body. So what he winds up doing is throwing across his body back to the middle of the field. And for that, Sendejo gets credit.
Amazing.
If the guy had caught the pass, he wouldn't have been in bounds. I mean, it's foolishness.
Why is it that CBS didn't flash up to Glennon's wife whenever he fucked up or threw the ball into the ground? Let's see what Glennon's wife thinks of that play.
It's like he's calling Sendejo a winner, It's like saying my asshole and hygiene in the same sentence. I mean, it's like, digging.
Wow, there's a lot of ways
so you have somebody to scrub it for you.
By the way, it is Cyber Monday, and I have a discount offer for the Tushy bidet, brought to you by
Tushy bidet.
Yeah.
The add-on bidet here.
But that's the thing. I mean, the Japanese are really interesting people. Have you ever seen the high-tech toilets that the Japanese use?
Yeah, they spray you off. They blow dry your ass. It's awesome. Yeah, man.
I bet Bob Kraft has got a few in his house.
I mean, it's
Amsterdam can clarify that too. He sold it to him.
How much time do Japanese people spend in their bathroom? I wonder. It's an interesting thing. By the way, Chubb is now averaging more than 100 rushing yards per game, and it should come as no surprise to anyone. And
he's extraordinary. He's extraordinary. He's Jim fucking Brown.
Yeah, it looks like his second coming. I hope he stays healthy, like Jim Brown did. That's I'd take 9 years out of this young man.
In seven games, he has 719 yards rushing.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt has 706. So not bad.
In 11 games.
In 11 games, Dearness Johnson has 142. And how many did he have in that one game? 100 plus?
80, 90, yeah. He had a few.
So, but that was a good sight, though. Dearness Johnson looked really good returning kicks.
Well,
You know,
certainly better than Peoples Jones. I mean,
I love
these
Peoples
books
Jones.
where, and it looked like there was blocking that were giving him a lane on the outside, instead of just running into the pile, which Peoples Jones kept doing. He was actually making a move to the sidelines. There was one though that the first one that he did, I swear, Metcalf would have gone all the way because he would have cut it back and had. Because Dearness Johnson doesn't have that extra gear, to really be a great kickoff returner, you need to have not just straight line speed, but the ability to make that cut and get up to an additional gear. But it certainly was better than what we've been seeing all year. Well wishes to Indianapolis Colts punter Rigoberto Sanchez. He has a cancerous tumor and it was removed. It's
he's cancer on that team.
Oh no, we're not too soon. But did a good job playing for the Colts. And it's scary when you have something like that in your body. I hope they caught it early enough so that this thing will not spread. They say that they have, and you never know. Sanchez found out about his cancer diagnosis last week, but the punter still wanted to play against the Titans on Sunday. It was then the concerns about his health emerged after he didn't handle his normal kickoff duties in the loss to the Titans. Rodrigo Blankenship kicked off while Sanchez only punted. But, again.
So how's Trent Williams doing these days? Where's he at? Still sitting at home.
You don't hear about that anymore.
You don't hear about Trent Williams anymore, do you?
That is interesting.
Trent Williams,
the Washington football team.
He's playing for the 49ers.
Is he really?
Yeah.
that's why you don't hear about him.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, it's all the other injured players that you hear about on the 49ers.
I know, Brian. Do you actually hear any more about the West Coast teams than we do being out? On the other side of Mississippi.
Yeah, because they're in the same division as the Cardinals.
Yeah, I just because as far as we're concerned, unless they're like the special night game or something, we hardly even hear about. It's just like
the AFC team, like the Chargers and the Broncos and that kind of thing, aren't really as high on the list because they're not division opponents, but every once in a while you hear something from those teams.
The Ravens Steelers Wednesday will be at 3:40 because NBC told the NFL that they were not going to not broadcast the 88th Rockefeller Christmas tree lighting ceremony.
Oh, speaking of shitty things, have you seen that tree? Oh my God. It looked like Charlie Brown's rejects. It was terrible. Oh my God. Oh, you have to see the highlights. It looks bad. It's not a pretty thing.
Wow.
So, wow, that's pretty. And then next week on Monday night, because they're both playing on Wednesday, now the Steelers and the Ravens are going to play next Monday night, and
he's good.
They're going to play the 5:00 games, and that is a sad thing right there.
Yeah, I thought it was really good, Penix.
I want to share this little video because somebody has to do this, and just like for me,
it's going to be you.
Yeah, it's my responsibility. Let me pull this up, and let's just go full screen here. All right, and you're going to see the kickoff, the Vanderbilt kickoff. Here you go. This is what the world's getting excited about.
No quacking sound effects.
Oh, look at this. There you go.
She looks hot.
Yeah.
She's a soccer player, Bronk.
Yeah.
And she's only 23.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What the hell is that?
She was actually making kickoffs. Or she was making field goals and warm-ups, though.
Well, then why didn't they let her kick like a man?
Probably because the rest of the team sucks.
They didn't even get close enough to try and kick a field goal.
No.
And it's not soccer where nobody's allowed to be around you.
Well, and she's a keeper, so she's used to trying that long, that long kick.
But that's what I mean. They have to back off like 10 yards.
Why would they tell her to kick that ball that way?
Mm.
This is the first in history. Are you kidding me? And that is a dud. Absolute dud. It's just
poor girl.
Yeah. The other thing was, the poor Indiana Hoosiers, they finally have a decent football team, and Michael Penix Jr., their quarterback, tears his ACL out for the season.
That's them done.
Yep. And then this, Cam Newton won't apologize for winning, even though he had nothing to do with it. Really tired of Cam Newton. I wish he would stop. And then this. This sounds like the last words of a head coach. This will be quoted once he gets fired. All right. I'm going to give you this quote. All right. Here's Matt Nagy, the head coach of the Chicago Bears.
Oh, no.
Quote, I know this. We better wake our tails up. Every freaking coach on the staff, every player better wake up and start understanding where we're at. Have some personal pride. Have a freaking sense of urgency. Know where we're at. Have some pride into who we're playing for and why we do this. And then go find a way to win as a team. That's my challenge to every single person in that building this week. That is my message.
He's trying to pull out his inner Mike Ditka.
He's done.
Now, you know what he was doing? He was trying to give the Animal House rah-rah speech in the court. That's
what the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
Don't stop him. He's on a roll.
This guy, what an idiot. What an idiot. We better wake our tails up. Every freaking coach immediately pointing his finger at the coaches, and it's like, that's the way to closer,
I hate the fucking Bears.
And I wanted to end the program with good news, all right? Because you know that I'm
good news. You converted to Jesus.
I am a little bit bellicose these days. Yes, and
bellicose about Belichick.
There has to be a silver lining to every cloud, And here's your headline. I'll read it to you. Adam Simber is heading to Miami after the Cleveland Indians traded him to the Marlins on Monday, the team that is the last place in the world that anybody wants to go, and they could only get cash for him. Yes, Johnny Cash's remains. They actually exhumed Johnny Cash's defecated on corpse. Yeah, so Adam Simber is an ex-Indian, thank God, and I don't think he ever was an Indian to begin with. He led the Indians with 68 relief appearances in 2019, and but he was never any good. His fastball topped out at 85, 86 miles an hour, and I just kept
a 4+ ERA, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I say? Whenever I say "make it stop," that was literally fastball. I mean, it was like
to you.
He brought back fond memories of Scott Sauerback. Well, all the other great relievers.
And don't worry, Indians fans, we signed Jordan Humphreys from the Giants. Now, Jordan Humphreys, you can look him up. This guy was a really great prospect coming up, and then he had Tommy John surgery, and he's bounced with 3 teams since then. Maybe it didn't take, or maybe, we can find a diamond in the rough here. Seeing as how the last guy who threw 100 miles an hour ended up cheating to do it, who knows what Jordan Humphreys may bring to the Cleveland.
I think you said that wrong. You said you can look him up. I think you'll have to look him up, I believe is the part. Rather than you can look him up, you'll have to look him up since we don't know who the hell he is. So.
Well, I mean, really what I can tell you about him is that he averaged more strikeouts than pitched. He was a live arm. He was 11-1 in their single A system and moved up into double A and did well there. And then all of a sudden, 2017, bam, sore elbow, Tommy John surgery. missed most of 2018, all of 2018, most of 2019, and had an opportunity to pitch a little instructional league ball. And nobody was very impressed with him. The Mets weren't impressed with him, who he played for originally. And then I guess he went. He ended up with the Giants, but there were 3 teams that just took a look-see and just obviously were not real impressed with him. So, you know, we have that.
I think we need a Jerry Springer monologue to.
There's also the other good news in baseball in Ohio. The Mahoning Valley Scrappers, who were on the scrap heap of minor league baseball, have signed with Major League Baseball to be part of the MLB Draft League.
Yes,
where collegiate players will play. So that keeps baseball in the Mahoning Valley, Warren, Youngstown area.
Which is wonderful, but I wish there would be factories rebuilt there, you know? I think that would be more important.
Well, somebody promised that, but never mind.
Yeah, we won't go there. And finally, I'll leave you with this, you know?
And now you definitely won't see him, will you, Hammer?
I think we need to bring minor league football back. Remember the Mahoning Valley Hitman move?
Hey, remember the London Monarchs? We
Jim
won the
Terry
World Bowl.
and fucking Mark
Well,
Terry.
I was watching. They have the spring football league or the spring league or whatever on FS1 that had what's his face from Michigan was one of the quarterbacks. It was pretty.
Not Chad Hammond.
No, that guy's a bitch.
Yeah. Here's the deal. There are some great values to be found on the internet right now. You know, they're extending.
Hey, all Fridays matter, not just Black Friday.
That's exactly right. There are
matter.
savings to be found. I found this little device, which is great. This is a cock ring that I found.
Whoa.
Who?
Do you use it as a forearm massager or what?
No, it's not a massager, actually. What it is, I'll show you. I have tennis elbow because I've been playing tennis and I was out for 14 months. So my elbow was killing me. And so it goes on like this, and it compresses that bundle of muscles and tendons to give you a little bit of support while you're hitting tennis balls or whatever else you might do.
So does that help? Does that help make your fist bigger? Is that what it is? Never mind.
No, it just makes it look bigger. And
Jesus.
that's really what is that?
I was so much bigger than the other one.
So, at any rate, congratulations to the Browns. We won. We're 8-3, and we're going to talk at length on Friday about the Titans game. It's going to be an exciting one, and I just want to see us try to compete. I want to see how we compete against a team that is really accepted as a true, honest-to-God playoff team. And if we can keep that game competitive, it will really show how we have made progress since the Ravens and the Steelers debacles that we had earlier this year. I really want to see us show up for this game and show that, you know, if we're going to make it into the playoffs, we're at least going to be, 10 miles of bad road for somebody in the first, in the first round. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. We'll be back again, as promised, Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time with the Browns pre-game analysis and picks. We'll see you then. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Ah.